like you always coming up last. A pocket's full of nothing, ain't got no cash. No matter where you turn, ain't got no place to stand. You reach out for something and they slap your hand. I remember all too well just how it feels to be all alone. Feels like you give up anything for just a little place you can call your own. That's when you need someone that you can call when all your faith is gone. Feels like you can't hold on. Let it be me. Let it be me. Let it be me. Let it be me. If it's a friend you need, let it be me. 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 If it's a friend you need, let it be me. Let it be me. Let it be me.
Thank you, Glenn. So please take your seats, everybody. Not permanently, don't get too comfortable. But we are going to hear testimony from somebody who is actually our new chairperson of the council. We've elected them. So please, everybody, make some noise and welcome up Marilyn Valdez. Miss Marilyn Valdez.
Good morning, everyone. On Friday, I was elected by our council to be the chairperson. And just as when I was called to be on the council just at the end of this past summer, I prayed about it and, of course, was very nervous about being assigned with a new responsibility. But when God calls you to do stuff, you gotta do it. That doesn't mean I'm the most qualified or the best person for the job, but when we believe in God, when we're people of faith, we go with God's calling, even though it's hard and the road ahead may present its challenges. So I see this as a responsibility. I'm here to serve, and before this election on Friday, I was actually prompted to offer my testimony by our sister Nandi, who at last week's town hall meeting, at the end of the meeting, she said, it's hard for us to trust all of you, meaning the council, because we don't know you. And I really reflected on that all week. And so about Tuesday or Wednesday, I reached out to Pastor Love and said, I would like to offer my testimony as a sister on the council because I am your sister. And I know that because we have the same parents. We have true parents. And all throughout history, people have talked about that, us being brothers and sisters, but what does that really mean? For me personally, I have physical sisters and brothers, but it was only when I met this movement, when I understood the principle, that I realized really what makes us brothers and sisters. So even though I may have physical brothers and sisters, I feel it's because we have true parents that we can truly be brothers and sisters. So I just wanted to give a quick little overview of my life in the next just 5 minutes. That's my goal. So that you understand where I'm coming from, because I am sure that many of you were wondering where I came from, because I was not coming to church regularly. And I want you to know a little bit about me. And I hope that maybe some of it may resound with you, because I am on the council representing some of you. This is what I believe. So I met this movement in 1991. I was a second-year student at Columbia University, and I saw an advertisement in our school newspaper, the Columbia Spectator, that said, International Leadership Seminar, 1 week in Russia, $500. Call this number. And all of that excited me. International Leadership Seminar, $500 to go to Russia for a week? So I called up, I went, all right, found out about it. Anyway, when I got there, within that week, there was a 2-day content of Divine Principle, which to me, honestly, was not very mind-blowing. It made perfect sense. Before I left also, I had gotten an introduction. I thought, okay, yeah, unity of science and religion, unity of the world peace, yep, that makes sense. Okay, nothing mind-blowing. But it was when I went there, from the minute I got there, I didn't know what to expect. This is 1991. We're just ending the Cold War. Gorbachev is still there. But I received so much love from our brothers and sisters, and that's what blew me away. These people that I had never met before, that I thought I was completely different from, because they were from Russia and I was from America. We were supposed to be complete opposites. We were supposed to be enemies. And they gave me so much love, and I came away feeling true love exists in Russia. They had so little materially compared to what I had as a college student, but the depth of our conversations was so much higher than anything I was receiving at an Ivy League university. And I thought, this is a group of people that I want to be a part of. So I thought, I need to finish college and go back to Russia, because that's where true love exists. Fortunately, I realized that no, there's some of that here too. So I joined I moved into the Columbia Carp Center. I did go to the Blessing in 1995, and have 2 beautiful, wonderful, blessed children, 2 daughters that are now 14 and almost 16. And thank you. Okay. And they truly are my blessing, my gift from God. Unfortunately, my blessing, my marriage didn't work out. And and I knew that very early on, but God graced me with 2 children, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. But I knew, unfortunately, that this was not going to work out, so I had to take a really, make a hard decision and decide that I needed to end this marriage in order for me to be the best mother that I could be, and the best person. And that went against everything I had committed to. I promised God that I would stay married, and I didn't. And that's something that I've worked hard to forgive myself for. But you know what? God has forgiven me. I know that because He found a way to bring me back in to this movement, because all along, even though I got divorced and I didn't, I wasn't coming to church because I didn't feel, I wasn't fulfilling what I thought would be the blessing. But still, fortunately, through the internet, I was able to keep up with what your parents were doing. And then when Ingenim started her ministry, Loving Life, that and also some people from CARP reaching out to me, that brought me back. And that gave my daughters also an opportunity to connect. That ministry was a gift for our family, and I'm grateful for it. And it had its time period. And so throughout life, we need to realize where God is giving us little gifts. And we think sometimes that it's supposed to last forever. And sometimes it doesn't. And it's heartbreaking when it does. When it doesn't last forever, when it doesn't go according to our expectations. But every day, we need to wake up and trust God that, God, I am following you. I don't understand why you put me in this position, but I'm going to keep following you. So when I was asked to be part of the council, I thought, this is crazy. I'm the last person to be a part of this council. I have been trying to be in the process of being rematched and reblessed, and it's been hard, and I've been thinking, okay, maybe I'm supposed to go through Jacob's course in 21 years, okay, whatever it is. But every day we have to wake up and say, okay, God, I don't know why you gave me this, but okay. So I don't know why I'm here, but all I know is that I am your sister, and I will do everything I can while I am here to serve you in any way. And I wanted to introduce myself to you so that God could work. I don't know, hopefully speak to some of you in some ways. I thank you, and I thank you for being my brothers and sisters.
Thank you so much, Aunt Marilyn. Okay, now I'm going to ask you all to stand up, if that's okay. We're going to do another song. So this next song that we're going to do, it's called Oceans, and it's by Hillsong, and it's a song that's touched me so deeply. It's all about trust and trusting in God, even in the hardest times, in the most difficult places. Taking a moment to take a step back and trust God. And so I hope that you can all really listen to the lyrics of this song and feel how deep our hearts for God can be. So please join me in singing Oceans.
You call me out upon the water, the great unknown, where feet may fail.
This will be our prayer session time period. So our theme for today will be trusting, just trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in each other, most importantly, trust in God. So let's take 2 minutes to reflect upon that.
was that? I just got destroyed by that spirit. In a good way. Can we please take some time to acknowledge each other and hug each other and introduce yourselves and cry with each other if you need to, or there's something in the air right now. Message get in the way of your discussion. So welcome everybody. Some things are just not explained well by reason, but I was just crying like a baby during that song and it never felt so good. Thank you, God, for that. Whew, sorry, I'm gathering myself. So this is Faith in Motion. Yes, part 9. Yes? And this whole quarter is all about piece by piece moving ourselves. Trusting God, trusting ourselves, trusting each other to move forward and bring each other with us. Being aware of each other, yes. Helping each other move along, but having the strength to pull people along. So this is all about the first steps, yes? Because those are really important, and they're usually the hardest steps, or the first steps. Getting off that couch. Getting out of your comfort zone. It's scary stuff. So I'm going to start with a quote from Reverend Sam Young Moon, who we call... Yes. As long as you complain and lament over your situation while just sitting in your chair, you will not make progress. God will not help you. God wants you to make new efforts each day, every day. That's a lot of responsibility right there, right? So he doesn't want us to complain. What do you guys think about complaining? Yeah, boo, yeah, let's get complaining out of here. Complaining doesn't do anything. It's actually spiritual poison. Do you guys know that friend? Do you have that friend? It could be a perfect day. It could be like a cloudless sky, and they're like, oh, no, it looks like a cloud's gonna form. Oh, and then if it forms, then it might rain. And then if it rains, it might be a tornado, and then we might all die. And you're like, where did you just come up with that? These kind of people that seek out the negativity, right? You guys know that. We also have that part in our characteristics. And sometimes, like if you have a boss or a teacher that you don't jive well with, that you don't like, there's a part of you that delights in hearing negative information about them. You guys know, right? You hear somebody say, oh, yeah, I don't like them, and your ear perks up, and you're like, yeah, right? They're kind of stupid, right? And there's something, it's the smallest part of you, and it's spiritual poison. It's so hard to find the worthiness and the beauty in that person when we're looking at their faults. So we don't want to be those people, right? We don't want to be complainers. We want to be problem solvers, yes? I feel like, honestly, that I was just thinking about this. In the Bible, there's a story clearly that says that a guy is dead. He's dead. They're going to go bury him, and then Jesus resurrects him, and he's alive again, yeah? You guys know this story? And then you never hear about this person again. Doesn't follow Jesus. I don't see when Jesus is in pain, this guy is standing up for Jesus, you know? Somewhere along the line, he started complaining and forgot about what he was given. He was dead, and then he was alive, and he wasn't there when Jesus needed him. So we have to be careful about this. I want to be a problem solver. Do you guys want to be a problem solver or a complainer? Problem solver is a huge one, because it's not about just imagining that everything's perfect all the time, but it's not about complaining. It's identifying the problem and solving it little by little. I got a quote from the Quran to help me out. God changes not what is in people until they change what is in themselves. You guys agree? So we need to identify our problems, figure out what is in us that we don't want to be in us, and then work to fix it. And in that journey, during that fixing, God can work with us to grow us exponentially in ways that we couldn't even imagine. And it's kind of like an apartment, okay? Have you guys been to an extremely dirty apartment where you wouldn't even understand how to start cleaning that place up? It's like so dirty that you don't even know. Have you ever been? Anybody? I went to this one girl's apartment, and it was if a nightmare could be personified, it would be this girl's apartment. It was like if I could think of anything as being a nightmare, and I wouldn't know where to begin, because as soon as you start cleaning something up, like on the surface, and you realize there's like 5 layers of filth, you're like, I don't want any part of this, right? But if you have a spotless apartment, a mess becomes very apparent, and it's very easy to clean up. And it's the same with our relationships with people. If we have a lot of things that we put between us, when we get further and further away, it's harder to figure out even where to start mending this relationship, fixing this relationship. But if we maintain good relationships, any blips become very apparent, and we can fix them easily, right? But I'm assuming that a lot of us, we have relationships that are kind of difficult, and it's hard to know where to start, okay? So I got a quote. It starts with our frame of mind. It all starts with our frame of mind and understanding that we have the power to change this. But you got to believe this first. So I got this. It's kind of like a poem. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you've lost. For out in the world, we find success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in his state of mind. If you think you're outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you'll ever win that prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the one who thinks he can. Can we clap for that? So in the very, 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 very beginning of solving something, you have to understand that it is a solvable problem. Yes? So that's the very first thing. So this is what we're going to do. Action steps. It's not theoretical. You guys are going to do something to change your life little by little. You're going to get into groups of 4 to 5. 4 to 5 people. Not yet. In a second. And it's not about finding the complaint in your life, but finding something that you'd like to change about either yourself or your situation with a relative or family member or with your church or something in your life. One thing that you would like to change. And you guys are going to share. We're going to have in each group of 4 to 5, we're going to have a leader and a timer again. And each person should be about no longer than 2 minutes. I'm going to say 2 minutes just because we have different activities to do today. So at the count of 3, if you guys could break up into groups of 5 to 6 people. 1, 2. Start with God. The first step in learning is bowing down to God. Only fools thumb their noses at such wisdom and learning. That's from Proverbs. So first you have to decide whether you actually want to fix your problems or identify maybe problems that you might have. But the second and vastly most important thing is surrendering to the powers that be, to God. Humbling yourself, yes? And that's an advantage that we have as believers of God, is we know where to go, yes? A lot of people don't feel that they have that option. If they're stressed, if they're confused, if they have this kind of stuff going on, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. But we can start first by going to God, okay? And this is also the advantage we have of being in this church, because we have a clear methodology of reaching God and solving problems. Like Alejita was saying, True Father, by example, was showing us divine principle in action by loving people who hated him again and again when all logic says, well, you're a jerk and I'm great. That's what we do a lot of times, right? Instead, flipping it around and saying God is great, that means that inherently we're all great somehow. So I have to prove it by loving you, and then you can be great too in God's eyes. And we can all become closer to God, yes? But it takes a lot of practice. And we need to become humble, yes? Because a lot of times we might have a problem in our life, but we're not humble enough to actually solve it. So I wanted to show you guys a picture. Most of the times we are on the far right here. We are a full cup of water. We walk around and it's very easy to judge people when you're a full cup because people are different. You know what's right or wrong. You know what's good and bad, and other people are wrong when you're a full cup. We would like to be the empty cup as much as possible and empty ourselves out of ego. That stuff, that water, is generally ego, stuff about us. And it's not about God. We need to empty ourselves out and let God really fill us up with the greatest, most beautiful, long-lasting love and good stuff. And this reminds me of juice. You guys know I'm passionate about juice, right? It's the weirdest thing, but I love juice more than life. Not really. But juice fuels my life. And when you have a full cup of water and you want juice, it's not juice. And you know it's not juice. It's water, you know? And if you fill out, half a cup of water, you empty half of it out, and then you fill the rest with juice, it's juice, but it's not juice, it's diluted juice. You guys know what I'm saying, yeah? Have you ever had watered down juice? It's not juice. It's flavored water. It's far from juice, But when you have a pure cup of organic, freshly squeezed juice, there's nothing on earth like that. You guys know what I'm saying. But it's the same thing with God's inspiration and love, is if we're a full cup, we really can't receive it. If we're a half cup, it might be good, but we're diluting it. And when we fully empty ourselves and fully humble ourselves and realize that we need God desperately, yes, we are great individuals, but we're far greater with God. When we can get to that point, then God can fill us up with ridiculous amount of creativity and inspiration and ideas and all this stuff. But that exists when we can empty ourselves out. So I got another quote. God creates to the level of 95%, and then human beings should add their efforts in accordance with God's basic rules for creation in order to establish a value standard of 100%. In this way, God wants to give human beings the value of having participated in the completion of his will. So this is what separates us from all other creatures, is God actually wants us to be part of his will and part of the completion of it, which means that it's not complete until we put forth effort. Yes? So in a moment, we're going to have the same amount of time to discuss, but I would like for you guys to discuss this time. The first one was what you'd like to change, right? But now we understand sometimes in order to receive, you have to let something go. So go to that slide, Nari. The question is, what are you willing to give in order to receive? So if you want to spend more time with a loved one, then you're going to have to spend less time, say, on the internet. Do you see what I'm saying? If in order to improve your life, you have to go in a direction, you're going to have to lighten your load, as they say. So if you want to go up in a hot air balloon, you got to let go of some sandbags. So metaphorically, what are your sandbags that you got to let go of in order to receive what it is that you want to change, okay? So please take that time to discuss. About 2 minutes, the same. Please time it. We'll try and do it. Yes? Good luck. 30 more seconds. You ready? Okay, y'all. All right, everybody, we're going to do a few more quotes. A few more quotes. Can everybody read that with me so that I can tell that you're listening? Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Let's say it all together. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. That's Martin Luther King Jr. You guys know what that means? You guys can relate? Sometimes we can be only as ready as we are right now. Like Marilyn was saying, that was exactly it. It's like, I don't think that there is a single central figure in history who was ready, right? Jesus wasn't ready to die. He was praying, "Are you sure, God? Are you sure?" Because he felt he had so much more to give. It wasn't his time, right? No, I never wanted to be a pastor or dreamed that I would. I didn't know, but it happened, and I was willing to do it, and I'm trying to make it happen every day. I'm trying to be a pastor every day, right? We're never quite ready, but we're only as ready as we allow ourselves to be, because God thinks we're a lot more prepared than we are. And sometimes we just have to jump, yes? And that's what faith is. I think, Olga, you and I were talking about this last week or the week before, something like this, and it's kind of like, especially in our church, we have a lot of answers, but we don't have all the answers. And sometimes you just have to believe. And that's kind of the downer of being a believer, is sometimes there's just nothing there and you got to jump. But that's what faith is. And on the other side, there's so much beauty on that other side when you just make that leap, because you're getting out of your comfort zone. And this is where you learn so much. Here in the comfort zone, you're stuck. There's walls. Here, there's endless possibilities. You guys know what I'm saying? But one more thing. There's a couple more quotes, but this one's really important. It's from Taoism. This is, he who wants to expand the field of happiness, let him lay the foundation of it on the bottom of his heart. And to me, this is why we have the traditions of, say, Hunduke. Today was Anshiil. Everybody do Anshiil? Participate and pledge. These things are to help us always be ready in heart, no matter what we're doing, no matter what we're called to do, at least that our hearts are cultivated and ready to go. We might mentally not think, oh, I don't think I can do that. But if our hearts are ready and willing, then we can follow as God calls us. So every day it's super important to train our hearts to be as deep as possible, so that no matter where we go, we're ready to handle that situation. And if we find ourselves in unfamiliar territory, unfamiliar water, our hearts are ready. That's super important. One last quote. This is from True Father. One more time. Even if heaven has prepared everything, it will not work unless we have prepared a corresponding foundation in our minds and our bodies. So I'm sure it's happened to you, and I know it's happened throughout history, is that if people don't fulfill their portion of responsibility, everything could be set up. We're just reading in Hunduke this morning about the Roman Empire working with the Catholic Church, and everything was set up for worldwide love to spread, but people got jealous and they weren't prepared in their minds and bodies. They didn't do their portion of responsibility. So it's super, super important that we prepare our hearts and that we also do our portion of responsibility when we're asked, which is to act upon what we feel called to do. Yes? Otherwise, we're somewhat of a clog. In our own lives, we're stopping ourselves from advancing. So this is what's going to happen. The last part of today, in your groups, if you have an odd number, then maybe you can do it in a trinity. But to find an accountability partner for your change. If you want to change your life, it's not mandatory, but if you want to change your life, little by little, that change that came in the beginning, that's your goal. The second part is what you're willing to give, and now is making a commitment to somebody and saying, this is what I want to do this week. This is the change I want to create in my life this week, and you're telling it to a person, a substantial human being, okay? And throughout the week, I want you to correspond with them either through email or giving them a call or meeting up with them based on this, so that you can say, did you do it yet? Yes or no? Because this is how we change. We need to be accountable to our goals. So it's good to have a substantial person. So you need to find an accountability partner, tell them your goal, and then make plans to connect with them at somehow, some way, even text if you really stretch for time throughout the week to say, did you finish your goal? Did you do it? Okay? So you guys have a few minutes to get that, maybe 2 minutes. Just find an accountability partner in your group, tell them your goal, make plans to connect. Anyway, messenger pigeon if you know one. Anyway, please join me in prayer, everybody. Please rise to your feet and let's end this together. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, this is an opportunity for us to grow. I'm thanking you so much right now for allowing us to have the time and the space and the people that can allow for this change to take place. We love you so much, but sometimes we become very idle, and we know that in idle water, a lot of bad things grow. That's where mosquitoes grow, God. A lot of disease and stuff, contamination can exist, but flowing water is so clean and it's purifying. And I pray that our lives can be flowing and that we can allow the levees to break and that we can find ways to continue to move ourselves. Faith in motion is not just trying to be a catchy title, God, but I'm praying that we can all, myself included, everybody here can make steps, action steps to increase the value of our lives in our own eyes and our value in the providence, so that we can become more valuable to you and to this world, because you are so desperate for people to speak to communicate with, to work through. But it takes a certain amount of openness. And if we're just in our little box, we cannot remain open. So I pray that we can break free of our boxes little by little. However we do it, but we make the steps necessary to go beyond ourselves, beyond the self that we know, and we can become great. And I know that we can do that with you, and I know that we can do that with True Parents as an example, God. And I truly believe that they pioneered the path to a glorious kingdom. We just need to follow. So I pray that we can take those steps to follow in their footsteps, God, and find our way to you, to the deepest part of your heart. We love you so much, and I thank you for everybody's participation today, and I pray that we can all grow because of it, grow closer to you, grow closer to each other, and grow closer to a self that we can appreciate. We love you, and we offer you this prayer together as a community. Jew. Thank you, guys. So, you guys can be seated. You can be seated. You can be seated. You can be seated.
All right, everyone, if you could get on your feet. We're going to try a new song today. It's called Light It Up, and it's going to be a lot of fun, so please dance along. Sunset stole the light, colored in your eyes. Everything was lost in silhouette. You're lost in silhouette. Light it up and let it go. Don't you see that you're not alone? Light it up and watch it fly. 'Cause you can go anywhere you want tonight. Light it up, light it up.
I could wear the weight, take it all away. But every creature's fate is theirs and theirs alone. It's yours and yours alone. Light it up and let it go. Don't you feel that you're not alone? Light it up and watch it fly. You can go anywhere you want tonight. Light it up, 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 light it up. Light it up and watch it fly. You can go anywhere you want tonight. 'Cause it could be a beautiful morning. Yes, it could be a beautiful morning. Everything you never said, and all the things you thought and said, and everyone you never knew, and everywhere you're going to, every song you want to sing, and every smile is there begins. It's yours and yours alone. Yes, it's yours and yours alone. Then it's yours and yours alone. Light it up and let it go. Don't you see that you're not alone? Light it up and watch it fly. Go anywhere you want tonight. Light it up and let it go. Don't you see that you're not alone? Light it up and watch it fly. Go anywhere you want tonight. It could be a beautiful morning. Yes, it could be a beautiful morning. Yes, it could be a beautiful morning. All right.
Thank you guys so much for coming today. Such a beautiful day. We hope you guys have a great week. God bless you. And if you have any questions, please go to Angel or Deguje in the back in the Life Lounge. Thank you, guys.